Hey guys, Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. We want to thank you so much for all the support you've given us here on the network. And if you want to see what we're up to outside of the station, please follow us all over social media. I'm on Twitter at Mike M Media and on Instagram at Mike Mercado Media. You can follow the good brother Alex Mercado on Twitter at Mercado21Alex and on Instagram at Mercado2121. The lovely Nicole Mancha is on all social media platforms at Typing When Tipsy. You can follow the network on Twitter at Mercado Airwaves. Our pop culture show, The Good Brothers, on Twitter at Good Brothers Pod. Our true crime shows on Instagram at Murder, Mysteries, and More. And of course, like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all our videos on YouTube.com/Mike Mercado 2333 or by searching Mercado Airwaves Network. We play video games on Twitch, twitch.tv/Mercado Airwaves Network. And of course, you can support our network by finding a tier just for you, whether you want early access, you want to be part of polls, you want to win contest prizes, by visiting us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. And we really appreciate it wherever you get your favorite podcast to like, rate, review, and share us. And please spread the word. For the good brother, Alex Mercado, for the lovely Nicole Mancha, I'm Mike Mercado. We wish you a happy, healthy holiday season and an awesome new year.
Hello and welcome in, friends, to another Sports from the Couch here on the Mercado Airwaves Network. I'm your host, Mike Mercado. I want to thank you so much for making us a part of your day. And it is time to make our predictions for the NFL Divisional Round that kicks off this Saturday with the San Francisco 49ers and the Minnesota Vikings. But before we get to our picks for the next 2 days of awesome football, including a national championship game on Monday night, I'm on Twitter at Mike M Media and on Instagram at Mike Mercado Media. You can follow the network on Twitter at Mercado Airwaves, and you can follow our pop culture podcast, The Good Brothers, on Twitter at Good Brothers Pod. If you're into true crime, visit us at Instagram.com/Murder, Mysteries, and More. You can see our true crime stuff right there. We're on Facebook. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. And do us a huge favor. Visit us at YouTube.com/Mercado Airwaves Network. You can see all our videos we post up, including our confidence picks throughout the NFL season. We're on Patreon if you would like to support the network on a different level. We really appreciate it. We have a bunch of cool tiers just for you. If you want to get our interviews with athletes and celebrities before anybody else, you can get that early access at Patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. And please do us a huge favor, like, rate, review, and share us wherever you get your favorite podcast at Mercado Airwaves. So why don't we start off with the NFC, starting us in this divisional round as we have the Vikings and the 49ers. So I guess it comes down to the 49ers have a really good defense. They're at home. George Kittle is a monster. Their running game seems to, it doesn't matter who they have behind that offensive line, as long as Shanahan is scheming it, it seems like it has everything going for it. And this is Jimmy G's really first test. That's the real question about this entire thing. And you're going to notice, at least for me, a lot of things that I'm basing this on is the running game. I think Dalvin Cook's the best running back on the field, right? And I think Diggs and Thielen, when healthy, are the best wide receivers on the field in this particular matchup. I think it's a push between Kirk Cousins and Jimmy Garoppolo. So really, this is a much more competitive game than I think a lot of people want to give credit to Minnesota. Especially here in Chicago, it being an NFC North town and a Bears town, people don't want to really acknowledge that the Vikings have a serious chance of making a run at this thing. And I'm actually picking them as my upset of this weekend is the Vikings beating the 49ers. And I think they're on their way to a really interesting run. It'll be fascinating to see how the 49ers respond and Jimmy G to the pressure. I think this game could really go either way. I think this is a close one, but I'm going to go with the Vikings in this matchup. And then to finish us off on Saturday night, it is the Tennessee Titans visiting the Baltimore Ravens. I guess the question becomes how much you trust Ryan Tannehill. Because Derrick Henry is going to get the ball. Everybody knows he's going to get the ball. And he's still making plays against New England's defense, which was considered one of the best defenses in the league, if not the best defense. And at least people thought it was better than Baltimore, that's for sure. So that'll be interesting how that plays out. And then it comes down to, on Baltimore side, Lamar Jackson. Can Lamar Jackson make some plays? Whether it's with his arm or with his legs. Because if you can't stop him, if you let him exploit you one way or the other, it's almost impossible to beat him. And you could say, well, you can hit him. Everybody's been hitting him this season, and it doesn't seem to do anything between him and Deshaun Watson. I think with this type of game, what you really have to look out for is time of possession. Can Tennessee keep Baltimore off the field? But I think this is the blowout of the weekend. I have Baltimore winning by 10 points at least. I have the Ravens over the Titans. And then on Sunday, we get kicked off between the Texans and the Chiefs in Kansas City. This, for Chicago, is the son of a Mitch Bowl. It is the Ryan Pace Bowl. To the rest of the country, it's just two great young quarterbacks and a lot of hype and a lot of greatness that could be. But for us here in Chicago, this is definitely a heartbreaking game to see that Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes go at it. The Texans are who we think they are, to steal that thing from Dennis Green. This is the same team that was getting shut out by Buffalo. So that's not out of their capabilities to not show up offensively. And it's hard to keep up with the Chiefs. Ever since Patrick Mahomes has gotten back from that injury, you have seen it kind of get put together, and it's also out of sight, out of mind. We really haven't seen Kansas City in these type of competitive games in a little bit, in a few weeks at the very least. I think Kansas City is the favorite in this game. They should be the favorite in this game. I'm picking them to win this game. The Texans have a lot of emotion, a lot of riding with them because of what we saw them do against Buffalo. But let's take all the variables into this. It was at home. It took Deshaun Watson some crazy miracle plays. It was against Buffalo, a team that's inexperienced with a young quarterback, had a very nice season, but all those things need to be put into this factor. The Chiefs are one of the best teams in the NFL, and because of injuries and because of expectations and other teams coming around, including Lamar Jackson really taking the league by storm, they've been kind of in the back burner, and that makes them very dangerous, especially in Arrowhead. I'm going with the Chiefs in this awesome matchup. These are two great young quarterbacks. I mean, Deshaun Watson, what he did last week against the Bills, unheard of. These two young quarterbacks are really bright spots in the NFL and all of sports. And you just hope that they stay healthy and that maybe this is a magical run for one of these guys so they can start putting some jewelry onto their mantle and on their fingers. But I'm going with the Chiefs in this matchup. And then we have, to finish off the divisional round of the NFL playoffs, the Seattle Seahawks visit the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau. I think the Seahawks are still going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. The concern, if you're a Seahawks fan, is going to Lambeau Field in the middle of these snowstorms that are coming through the Midwest and into the East Coast. But Russell Wilson has seen it all. He's played against it all. Metcalf can break over the top of a defense. Russ can make plays with his legs. That team just finds a way to win. That's the feeling I can't get away from. It's like Devontae Adams is a great receiver, but he's been hurt a lot throughout the season. Aaron Rodgers has had a nice season, but it's definitely not what we've expected from Aaron Rodgers. And a lot of people think, including myself, that it's a soft 13-3. Now, it's not easy to be 13-3 in the NFL, but in the confine of what we're speaking of and the minute details of it, they weren't an impressive 13-3. And it seems to me that this is the type of team that loses at home, if there's going to be one. You don't know whether it's going to be Aaron Jones one day, if it's going to be Williams one day. They do have weapons, and this is definitely a test for the Seahawks. But I'm going with Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson was the best quarterback in the league until Lamar Jackson really started to separate himself around week 6, week 7. But I'll go with the Seahawks in this matchup. So, those are our picks for the NFL Divisional Rounds. We have the Vikings beating the 49ers in San Francisco. We have the Ravens beating the Titans in Baltimore. I have the Chiefs over the Texans in Kansas City. And the Seahawks over the Packers in Green Bay, which will give us a Minnesota Vikings versus Seattle Seahawks NFC Championship game and a Kansas City Chiefs versus Baltimore Ravens AFC Championship game. And just for a frame of reference for each and every one of you who've listened to us here on Sports from the Couch, I did have Seattle versus Baltimore in the beginning of the season, but we will see how that plays out. And before we head out of here, for all you college fans, this Monday, it is Clemson versus LSU for the national championship game. I actually am going with Clemson in this game. I think Burrow might be the best quarterback in the field, depending on how you feel about Trevor Lawrence, but I'm not really the biggest of college experts. It just seems to me like Clemson just plays in these big moments. They know how to get there. Dabo Swinney has coached them up really properly. Also feels like we haven't seen LSU really tested in a little bit. This might be the first game for them to have that, and we'll see what happens when there's a little adversity towards LSU. But I think this is going to be an awesome game. I have Clemson over LSU, 45-42. Clemson. But that'll do it for us here on Sports from the Couch for our divisional round picks in the NFL and our NCAA National Championship picks for this coming up Monday. Thank you all so much. Let us know who you guys have winning in the divisional rounds and the national championship all over social media. I'm on Twitter at Mike M Media, on Instagram at Mike Mercado Media. You can like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Follow us on Twitter at Mercado Airwaves. I'm on YouTube.com/Mercado Airwaves Network. Subscribe to us, like, rate, review wherever you get your favorite podcast at Mercado Airwaves. If you'd like to support the show and on a different level, visit us at Patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. There you can find a tier where you get our interviews ad-free and before anybody else with athletes and celebrities. That's Patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Come play video games with us, guys, at twitch.tv/Mercado Airwaves Network. Thank you all so much. Enjoy the game. Stay safe out there with the bad weather. We will see you next time here on Sports from the Couch on the Mercado Airwaves Network. I'm Mike Mercado.
Hey guys, Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. We want to thank you so much for all the support you've given us here on the network. And if you want to see what we're up to outside of the station, please follow us all over social media. I'm on Twitter at Mike M Media and on Instagram at Mike Mercado Media. You can follow the good brother Alex Mercado on Twitter at Mercado21Alex and on Instagram at Mercado2121. The lovely Nicole Mancha's on all social media platforms at Typing When Tipsy. You can follow the network on Twitter at Mercado Airwaves, our pop culture show, The Good Brothers, on Twitter at Good Brothers Pod, our true crime shows on Instagram at Murder, Mysteries, and More, and of course, like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all our videos on YouTube.com/Mike Mercado 2333 or by searching Mercado Airwaves Network. We play video games on Twitch, twitch.tv/Mercado Airwaves Network, and of course, you can support our network by finding a tier just for you, whether you want early access, you want to be part of polls, you want to win contest prizes, by visiting us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. And we really appreciate it wherever you get your favorite podcast to like, rate, review, and share us. And please spread the word. For the good brother, Alex Mercado, for the lovely Nicole Mancha, I'm Mike Mercado. We wish you a happy, healthy holiday season and an awesome new year.